I just did that. I do that. I sing song things sometimes. So we are pivoting this week, and it's one of the things that I love about doing something that I control, which is that I get to make choices. And so I actually was getting ready to record with a good friend of mine for our 4th episode in our love series. And unfortunately, we had some things come up and weren't able to make that work. And so we're going to put that on the front burner, not the back burner, and come back around to that episode in a bit here. But I had already planned to take March off. Let me just first say, you guys, we hit 22 episodes, and my first little benchmark goal was to hit 21. I had a colleague of mine that said, Jen, have you heard that only 1% of podcasters actually hit 21 episodes? So if you hit 21, you are in the top 1%. And I was like, I have not heard that. And a little bit like, oh gosh, is this harder than I think it's going to be? And so that was my first benchmark, which was to hit the 21 episodes. And I don't know how to say this except to say this transparently. It hasn't felt hard. I think that that's really indicative of the fact that I'm doing something I love and something I think I've found that I can be kind of good at this, and something that people want to hear, which is really, I hate the cliche way to say it, but like it's humbling to follow this trail of breadcrumbs with a lot of faith and trust in my intuition. And it's a thing that I've been leaning into these last few years, really, is like following my joy, following what lights me up, not doing things because I think somebody thinks I should or shouldn't. And that has showed up in very small ways, and it's culminated into bigger things like this podcast. And so it's so freaking amazing when you can find something that this is like the center of a Venn diagram, where it's the thing that you love and that you have joy doing, the thing that you're good at doing, and the thing that serves and helps other people. And literally had been reading books for the last 2 years about like, how do I find my dharma? How do I find my purpose? How do I find this thing? And what is the middle of the Venn diagram? And it's just in this moment right now that I'm like, this is one of those things. So for those of you that have been following along and listening to some, or maybe even all of the podcast episodes, thank you for being a part of this journey. And, thank you. Thank you is maybe not the right words. And I said it on one of my last episodes that I've been starting to kind of turn the wheels around. Can I have an in-person event? Would people fly in? And could I have like a whole shebang 1-year celebration with all of the people that are really like enjoying the show and that have been on the show? It would be such a really fun and powerful room of people. So I'm kicking around ideas like that. And I'm saying that all to say, I am taking a break in March, very intentionally. I am backlogged with episodes that I haven't edited, which is a great problem to have. I've got a slew of people that are on a list that I would like to be on the podcast, that I would love to invite to be on the podcast, and don't have all of the time right now that I would like to put into that. And so I'm going to take a break during March, and maybe that first week of April, I am on spring break with my girls. But if I can get some things queued up, I will push that out while I'm away. I've got some really exciting new things in the hopper too. I'm working on with a colleague, and I'm going to just like put that teaser out there with you for you right now that I will be sharing more about in April. So got some things happening and I'm excited about it. And I think the other thing that I would like to put out there is if you could, like legit, this is kind of like, I don't like to ask for favors, but do me a favor, do the podcast a favor. If you haven't already, go ahead and give it a 5-star review or 4. Be honest, but you don't even have to like type anything out if you don't want to. But if you just like click on the 5 stars. It helps push this podcast to the top, which helps get traction, which gives me more opportunity and gives you guys more opportunity in terms of who I can bring on and who you can hear from. Also, following the podcast, it just puts it in your queue when a new episode comes out, but that is really helpful too. So, couple things for you. What do I want to leave you with right now? I always ask people on the podcast, what is it that's on their heart and mind? That they feel they want to share, they think needs to be heard. So I'm asking myself that question right now. One of the most valuable things that you can do for yourself and for the people you love and for society at large is to start by getting really in tune with who you are. There's all kinds of ways, and that's part of what this podcast is about getting really clear on really who you are, not what people think you should be or what they think you shouldn't be. I think the second part of that is understanding how your intuition speaks. And for you, call it intuition, you can call it spirit, you can call it God. There's a connection between the two, I think, between how intuition moves through our body, and our bodies give us cues, whether for you it might be butterflies in your stomach or a pit in your stomach, or I have a friend who gets goosebumps all the time. I have different ways that I know that my intuition has led me, and that has led me to things like this and other things in life that are really joy-inducing for me and life-giving for me, but also really serve people out of a place of love. And when you get really clear on that, the decisions that you make in life are way more clear. And I look back at the times, like some of you right now are wanting to create this really beautiful, maybe it's a business, maybe it's a garden that you're doubting if you can do. It can be really simple things. It can be really big things. It can be deciding to stay in a relationship or a job, or it can be all kinds of things in your life right now that you're kind of like, which way do I go and who am I? What do I want? What do I want to birth and create in this world? How do I know? Anytime you come to a crux in your life, a decision point in your life, whether it's a stay or go decision point, or it's a should I create this or build this or let this go or let this die or not, anytime you come to that point, you have an opportunity to get really clear with yourself. And once you find that clarity, then you stand literally at a precipice. And the only thing left to do at that point is jump. When you know, the only thing left to do at that point is jump. And know this, not everybody will agree with what you're doing. Some people will love it. Some people think you're crazy. Some people will want you to fit into their box because that makes more sense in their minds. Some people will be jealous, and that jealous will be reflected in different ways. Some people will put you on their shoulders and lift you up and cheer you on. I'll be one of them. But know that whatever is in you that is begging to be birthed, it's for you and it's for society, and it is entirely possible for you to do it. It is entirely possible for you to do it. And you should. Except I don't like the word should. I don't know what to replace that with right now. I think considering it would be wise. There's a lot of emotion there for me because of my own journey that I've been on in uncovering my truth and my path. And I think a part of my truth and my path is literally to help you uncover yours. And that has required me to take risks, and it's going to require you to take risks. But it's really freaking beautiful when we do these things. And if you don't have anyone that believes in you right now, or if you don't know if you do, I might not know you, but I fucking believe in you. Because I believe that there is a source that has wisdom and divine guidance. And I believe that if you feel convicted or compelled, that it's there for a reason. And I believe it wouldn't be there if there wasn't a way to walk it out. So I believe in you. Okay. I didn't plan to go here today at all. But we follow the flow on the whole shebang. The other thing, this is a total left turn right now, but the other thing I was going to say just in general that I think is really important, and part of what I want the theme of the whole shebang to be, is that there are times in our life when we need to have discipline and consistency and push, and there are times in our life when we need to know when we can ebb and flow. And I am a big believer in both. I would not have had the success so far with this podcast that I have if I didn't have some grit, and if I didn't have the ability to have some consistency. If I didn't put a framework and a system together, we wouldn't be here. You can't just flow all the time. And I've got some things coming up. I'm going to be moving in the next month here too. And so I'm looking at my plate and going, hey, you can try and do it all and kill yourself, or be really sad and stressed all the time, or you can just pivot a couple things. And so that's what I'm doing. And I want to lead with that example for you, that when you look at your life and you're feeling completely overwhelmed, you always have a choice. You always have a choice. And sometimes we think it's not a choice. It would be easy for me to be like, no, I committed to doing this every week in, week out. But I also recognize I've built some consistency here, and it's okay to take a break and come back with the bang. So you can take a break too. You can take things off your plate. You can make hard decisions. You can tell your kids no to that one extracurricular sport that they really don't have to do. You have choices, and we can create structure and barrel through. And I think in our society, we can benefit from the balance on the other side. So I hope that this is an encouragement to you and empowerment to do the same thing. Okay, now, here's the last thing I'll say. If you haven't listened to all of the episodes, shame on you. Just kidding. I don't induce shame. This is your time to go back and catch up. If there's anything you want to catch up on, you can shoot me an email. My email is in the show notes. If you just scroll down, you can see my email in there. I would love to hear from you. All right. I think that's all for now. As I ask my guests, are you complete? I think I feel complete. Hit the follow button. 5-star reviews are great. 4-star reviews are okay-ish. Have a banging day.